To another edition of the Rockpile Report podcast, coming live to you on YouTube. I'm your host, Bill season ticket holder Drew Gear. That's my producer, Chris Kruger. And boy, we just had a dandy of a weekend, and it was lovely all the way around. I mean, I don't know that I have a single complaint or
I don't either.
Chris, from start to finish, we had a pretty good time, didn't we?
Boom, right here. I went to Grand Wine and Spirits in Lockport for their bourbon raffle. You get 5 sheets. You write down your name and what bottle you want. I did that, and then they go, all right, Maker's Mark, cellar aged, Chris Kruger. And I look at my wife, who I brought for 5 extra tickets. I was like, I didn't write cellar aged. So I just moseyed on up to the counter for the right to buy Maker's Mark cellar aged, something I didn't want. But if you're going to give me the option to buy it, I'm buying it. And then when that happened, I learned it was $200. So this is the most expensive bourbon I've ever bought. But outside of that, nothing else happened this weekend at all.
I mean, we had a great tailgate. Thank you to everybody who showed up. It was a nice, light affair. Chris Brown and Steve Tasker came to the tailgate. In fact, I got a lot of text messages today. I was featured on One Bills Live with Iman Azizi, and we were over there talking about Q42 barbecue. We made him some flank steak. Had a great time. Got to chop it up with. In fact, I admitted to him on live TV or on recorded TV, but it aired during One Bills Live.
It made the cut.
It made the cut that I thought Steve Tasker was a linebacker. I love that they included that, and that is now part of the canon of his life as a Buffalo Bills commentator. He knows that someone that stupid really exists out in the wilderness.
My favorite part of being featured on that, being there, was people are seeing Chris Brown and Steve Tasker doing something, filming something at the tailgate. And once the cameras cut, there was like a semicircle of people from other tailgates that showed up to like, oh, I really want to meet Steve Tasker. And like, so as soon as they were like, all right, and cut, Steve was like turned around and like shook someone's hand and was like, hi, I'm Steve. No shit. We all know who you are.
Yes. He was the best. Also, watching him, the fact that he doesn't cut his cigars, like he smokes cigars like a chimney. He does not walk around with a cutter. He just bites them off. That's a pro move. And then, the tailgate was gorgeous. The day was pretty balmy. I don't think anything else happened. Oh yeah, Chris, then this thing happened. Why don't you throw that up there for everybody? See, guys, something happens here that I find hilarious, like just personally for me, the way I use social media. You can do and say a lot of things. It's one of the beauties of social media in and of itself is that you can say whatever you want. And in doing so, sometimes you say things that really rub people the wrong way. Chris, you want to read that for the people listening on audio who may not know that this exists?
Oh, I don't remember what you wrote. I took it off because it already showed.
You go find it and read it for the listeners. But first, I want you guys to understand that when I approach social media, first of all, in my day-to-day, when it comes to my relationship with Twitter and all of you on there, I've met some great people. And I know how most people use social media. They use it as a conduit to get their ideas out there, to garner themselves attention for their product or their thing, whatever it is. When they do and say things, they do it with the intent of, I either want people to agree with me, like it falls across a couple lines. I want people to agree with me. I want people to engage with me, or I just want attention. I am neither of these three. I'm more like a gator. Chris, you want?
There is a darkness inside of me. It wants to get out, wants to walk around. It wants some walking around money, and it wants to buy some shoes, and it wants to walk up with the people and say, "Hey, Gator, don't play no shit." You feel me? Gator never been about that. Never been about playing no shit.
There's something inside me where I go, hey, this is a safe vehicle for all these intrusive thoughts that I have, that I can't scream here. I can't scream this in a crowded parking lot, in my place of business, at a Bills football game. I just have a lot of thoughts. And if I keep airing those negative thoughts out to the ether, someone's going to punch me in the face, and then we're going to have a whole fracas on our hands. Or I'm going to make a child cry, which has happened on more than one occasion. My father was actually there to see it firsthand that day. It was the Buffalo Bills playing the Miami Dolphins, and I just came unhinged at what a bad day Josh Allen was having, and I made a 13-year-old child cry with just how, not even, like, there's no profanity, no disgusting behavior, just ruthless, cold dissection of what I saw as failure. And I made a child cry, and I told his mother I didn't give a damn. And then I came back and got carted by security, and my father goes, what the hell's wrong with you? You just lost your mind back there. This is what I use social media for most often. Not all of you know that. So now that makes sense when Chris, if you want to read that tweet back for some of the people, just so that they can, those listening on audio who didn't have the luxury of seeing my masterpiece.
I left the Bills game at halftime. I'm glad I did get to play with my kids in the yard. I wonder if Josh is going to talk shit to fans this week like he did after week one. Just have a little faith in what exactly the most anti-clutch team in football, noble and stupid.
And then it's a gif of Frank from what is that, King of Queens, going, he's the best loser I've ever known. Now, some might say that's a bridge too far. Some people might see that tweet and say, you know what, this guy is a real piece of crap. And most of you did. And most of you let us know it. Most of Bills Mafia decided, Chris, how many comments on this?
269.
It is the most ratioed anything I've ever put on social media has ever been. So first of all, I want to pour a glass of the last of Alexis's Calumet 8 she left at the tailgate. I want to raise a glass to you, Bills Mafia. Good for you. You gave me the business this weekend. Now I want to talk about it. But first, you guys just kind of underscored what I believe in. See, you don't realize it, but you're making my point almost accidentally, in that I believe in the words of the great Mayor Lenny Klotch.
Being miserable and treating other people like dirt is every New Yorker's God-given right.
And all of you came through in spades for me. You really did. And to be honest, I'm here for it, as the kids say. I want to talk about it. So I said what I said, and I called Josh Allen a loser, and I stormed out of a football game that a lot of people probably wish they could attend. Now, Chris, when you were showing your wife the comments, you said, well, how many? First of all, a lot of it was pedantic. A lot of it was nonsense. Just your typical, like, I feel like the movie The Governors with the coach, where he's standing there, he's like, no, boys, be sharp with it. Cut me. If you're going to say something, it has to cut. I got to feel it. You can't just come into the mentions and go, oh, you're a loser. Yes. Oh, you're an idiot. Probably. Like, Chris, there was probably, what, at least 40 or 50 of each of those.
Yeah, there's a lot of, you're a loser, not a fan,
D-bag, sell your tickets. What was one, though? Sell your children?
Oh, yeah. Somebody had quote tweeted it with, put your kids up for adoption. Your kids need a real man in their life.
It's these where I go, hell yeah. All right, that guy gets it. He's giving me the business. See, when I grew up, little kid growing up watching Don Rickles and the Friars Club roasts. And I think it probably speaks to how I'm wired now and how I use social media and how I interact with all of you, is that there is this black, dark, cold kind of part of me that I feel like I should be able to say any wild shit that I want to, because we're all just out here telling jokes. None of this is for real. None of this is serious. I know that's not how all of you use social media, and I apologize, but I can't speak for you. What I do know is in that moment, I was about half, it was half bloviation, half overreaction, and it was like half real of me just being genuinely frustrated watching this football team play. But some of you came out in spades for this. Like, Chris, if we want to go through some of my favorite responses to this tweet, I appreciate a good roast. And as such, I'm here to celebrate all the negativity that you guys have to shovel my way. I think that, Chris, the Josh Allen leaning into the cubicle might have been just the best. It was AI driven, obviously. But it is the funniest response. Just that photo. Josh Allen in suspenders just leaning into the cubicle with a smile on his face like the manager from Office Space. I fucking love it. Because you're right. For all it's like every time I doubt this guy, he just puts it directly, like, it's awful. I just end up eating it every single time I viscerally come out negatively against Josh Allen. I hear about it. And he does it out there on the football field every single time. Chris, what about the, do I have one over there? What do you got? Just pick one. What do you got for me?
I mean, we'll go with my personal favorite. Dave Myers from Built in Buffalo, who runs the Built in Buffalo network, says you can still delete this. Says the guy who tweets monthly, upset and butthurt that his network isn't as big as Cover One. This guy deletes tweets monthly.
Here's what I don't like. There's a thing, and Chris, if you want to follow it up with the Kansas City Bills backers tweet, they also came through and said something similar along the lines of, oh, you know,
the best time to delete this was immediately after posting it. The second best time is now.
I want to tell you guys, social media is not that serious. For the Dave Myers and the, Bills backers bars out there who are mad about what I have to say, why would I take it back? It's social media. I said a thing, you don't agree with it. That's fine. Can we not just agree to disagree? Even if I'm viscerally wrong. And you had this palpable negative reaction to what I had to say. And you think I'm the dumbest person you've ever seen. Do I not have a right to just say it? Do I not have a right to just be the dumbest person you've ever talked to on social media? I think I do. And
Ralph Wilson Sr. wants us to go to the game on Sunday and leave at halftime to ensure victory.
Road trip to Boston?
Yeah.
We're going to ship up there like Dropkick Murphys? No, it is funny because I see all the negativity, but the problem is that you guys, it's that age-old adage. Being angry is like pissing your pants and that everyone gets to see it. You're the only one who has to feel it. Being angry on social media is an even dumber version of that. But with that said, I did the same thing. I took my frustration, I poured it out on social media, and then was like, well, I said that thing. That's ridiculous. And sure enough, it caught fire. And everyone who was looking for somebody else to punch down on came looking for it. And guess what? I didn't even fight back. In fact, a lot of people, I was just like, well, there you go. So some guy said, hey, you need to wash the sand out of your crotch. And I was like, well, and all I responded with was a gif of Homer Simpson scrubbing in the shower, just like crying and scrubbing. It's like, yep, well, I do. You know what, though? It is funny to me. Like hey, you delete this. Why? These are just ideas. I'm just throwing them out there in the ether. It's not my job to dictate whether you like them or not. And if you don't like them, there's a simple solution to that. You have all the control here, not me. I'm just a guy who gets to go shout something into the void. If the void decides it's going to talk back to me, that's not my fault. I didn't do that. You did. So you could be mad, Chris. Well, what else we got over here? Oh, we've got a bunch of these things curated. You guys really did let me have it. What else do we got, Chris? What's funny?
We'll go to this one. The beeper. You don't deserve tickets, you loser.
And yet I have them. You know why? In fact, I might buy. You know what I did? I ate 2 tickets to the Bengals game. Nobody bought them online. Nobody, a couple people responded to the tweet. And when I told them I wanted more than $100 for them, the reality is I could have given them away, but I didn't. I have 4 tickets. What, you think I'm going to get fewer? I'm going to get more. I'll buy extra just to piss that guy off. What else do we got here, Chris? Hit me with something.
Let's go Man Mang.
Oh, yeah, this guy.
Let's see here. Crazy thing is, no one cares if you ain't living with your main character syndrome.
Main character syndrome is such a young millennial thing. Here's something young people do that I can't stand. First of all, you calling me as someone who has main character syndrome, you are correct. There's already a word for that, though. It's called narcissism. I use it all the time. I talk about how I'm a narcissist and how social media is easy for me because the ideas and thoughts of strangers just bounce off me like rain. It doesn't matter. I'm able to scroll social media past every stupid thought and idea anybody else wants to put into the ether, and I don't internalize any of it because none of it matters. You guys have decided that it needed to be retitled because was narcissism just too hard? Was it too long of a word? Were there too many consonants in it? Was it too many syllables for you, son? I feel like Ron Swanson. Are there no scissors in your house, son? To the kid who has a mullet? It's like main character syndrome. Just call it the thing that is in the DSM. It's narcissism, and it's great.
Speaking of scissors, this is for Oliver and Tracy. Just so happens I'm wearing a white shirt. They were like, "Oh, you look like you're in Greece." I have a leather jacket right out there.
Go Grease.
Here we are.
Coasting down the
Tracy and Oliver,
Grease,
leather jacket. I look like I'm in Greece.
You look like you're one of Kanicki's backups. Like
I don't know what that is.
Of course you don't. Chris, at the end of the day, some of these people were really upset. Some people wrote a lot. What do you got for me up there? We got a couple more.
No, I have I have tweets for later in the show.
Well, here's what I have for you. I just want to talk about this. As a guy, my father loves me, and he sent me a...
Your stepdad or your real dad?
Well, my stepdad, you know why he doesn't know me? My stepdad doesn't know me because I wouldn't write an essay for him, which is hilarious if you think about the fact that, well, the joke tells itself. I got a text message from my dad that was no less than 5 paragraphs long after this game. And it literally started, message from dad. As a follower of the Rockpile Report podcast in your X account, I offer the following message. And he proceeded to give me what he thought was some life advice from a lifelong, long-suffering Bills fan who's seen far more humiliating things for this football team than 1.5 football games of struggle from the Buffalo Bills. And trying to bring me back down to earth, and I love that man for doing that. Like, he's my hero. Because he's the only one who saw that and wasn't like, what an idiot, what a loser. He goes, nope, I know my kid. He's going to do this. He's going to spout off into the void and then fight with people about it if they rub him the wrong way.
You are one pathetic loser.
And that's why, guys, I had the Montucky Cold Snacks Ice Cold Performance of the Week.
You folks fell on your face. You get an F- in my book.
Anytime you do anything on a Sunday afternoon that forces your father to write you like a heartfelt text message, you're probably the biggest idiot of the afternoon. That was me. In my own defense, I will say 2 things. One, of course, my producer just leaves the room now that someone mentioned Greece and you screwed me because now my producer's off to go find another prop. Let's take here. The greaser jacket demands the return of the fake gold chains. There you go. See, you did this. Thanks, Super Mexican. There's 100% mold in the WGR. I'm just going through the comments. I mirror Drew's energy most weeks. My husband is worried about my health from Tracy Brewster. See, guys, we are a hyperbolic fan base. And I feel like my personal fan base, our fan base here, the Rockpile Report, the group of us that get together every week and do this, listen to these podcasts, watch these shows, we are the emotional fringe of Bills Mafia. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you have to be able to feel something. Otherwise, what are we doing here? For all the people who want to calmly watch a football game with no emotion tied to it, God bless you. That's how you choose to watch it. I could never.
That's why we have NPR.
That's why. Well, exactly. And then if you want to listen to pragmatic dissection of a game and you want all of the emotional attachment you can afford, I'm not your guy. I can't give you that. I can't give you any of this. What I can do is point out things that I felt, things I saw, things that to me seem real. And in that way, we all get together. I also do a healthy amount of this. Maybe those two things are connected. Who knows? What I do know is that what I said on Sunday rubbed everybody the wrong way. And I understand it. I'm not going to defend that I'm right. I also will say that a lot like Mac from Always Sunny in Philadelphia,
I won't change my mind on anything, regardless of the facts that are set out before me. I'm dug in, and I'll never change.
Chris, I want you to show the people the response I sent out to multiple people who said I should quit Twitter, sell my tickets, do this. I want you to show the people. Guys, this is it.
There we go.
I am a feral animal when it comes to this stuff. And unfortunately, just like the raccoon being escorted out of a football stadium in the graphic that I chose for this tweet, you won't get rid of me easily. You can't. I will not go quietly into the night. Do I apologize for upsetting all of Bills Mafia? Not even a little bit. Am I sorry that I said what I said the way I said it? Maybe I would have worded it differently, but probably not, because in the moment, that's what I felt. Now, the difference is I have the uncanny ability, and maybe it's, again, the Don Rickles, as a child watching Don Rickles Friar Club's roast when I was 6 and 7 years old, which actually, Chris, got me in a lot of trouble in elementary school.
Checks out.
Because I would just parrot things I heard Don Rickles say, and it turns out you're not allowed to say that in a public school. I would say these things, and then I would watch other people's reactions, and I would go, what are you being so stuffy about? So what? I hurt your feelings. What are feelings? What are feelings? Who cares? I'm sorry that I hurt Bills Mafia's feelings this weekend. That to a degree where you felt like you had to come out against me in spades. But let's not pretend, Chris, if you want to show people the graph, for those of you watching live, let's not all pretend like this didn't come from nowhere. That the thing that we saw, the comeback that we saw, was not one of the most improbable things that has ever been done on the Bills, on that Ralph Wilson Stadium field before. I put it in front of your eyeballs. There it is. So when you tell me that the Bills had an 8% chance to win, right up until just the things that can happen when you have a quarterback like Josh Allen, yeah. Like, those are the things that are possible when you have a quarterback like Josh Allen. And I'm willing to admit that maybe I was early on something, right? Like, I got there a little too early. I shot from the hip a little too soon. But let's not all act like this was a layup and that, oh, no, Drew left because it was a 3-point deficit and everything was going our way. It was not.
The entire afternoon of that game, the Bills were consistently down either – like
7 to 10,
3 or 10 points, give or take. It was always the Bengals score, Josh Allen goes down and scores, we stop him, we drive, James Cook fumble. Like, we weren't, like, even the drive where the interception happened, 3 plays for the Bengals, 2 passing, both of them 15 and 16 yards completion.
Yep.
They were just going to drive down the field and score had not been for Benford.
They were going to get 45 yards on 3 plays, and then Christian Benford happened. And I guess that's where, now that we've talked about this for 20 minutes, is everyone satisfied? Are we all? I'm still here, right? I don't tuck tail. I'm just here. I'm just a guy who's out here, unlike Dave Myers from Built in Buffalo. I don't delete anything. It'll exist forever. I'm not scared of anybody. You can be mad at me all you want. None of this matters. None of this is real.
We're going to retweet it on the 1-year anniversary. That's how petty we are.
We'll bring it back and re-roast. We'll relive all the best roasts. It's the best. You have to be able to take some of that. If you can't, I pity you. I genuinely feel bad for you as a person. If you can't get put in the barrel and just take the ride. Just say something wild. And then just deal with it. Just deal with the fallout. There's no apology coming. I'm not sorry, and I will do it again. There you go. And that is where we're going to leave this. Now, what I love, I can't even pronounce it, but Tuzak Mitchell, he goes, win probability statistics do not account for Josh Allen. I don't think that there's no truer statement that exists. And so in that, Chris, a recap of week 14. I want to talk about the stats of the game. Joe Burrow, 25 of 36 for 69.4%, 284 yards, 4 touchdowns and 2 picks.
Let me get this out before I forget.
Okay.
If anybody saw, I tried to find a picture of it, but I couldn't. There are certain people in this chat that might know what I'm talking about, but I saw a photo of Joe Burrow arriving at the game. You know, they take pictures or videos like of them walking into the stadium. The dude looked like Jake Summers from California Dreams, the Saved by the Bell knockoff. He had on like a leather jacket and a tie. It reminded me of Jake Summers from California Dreams.
I love everybody in the comments right now. I like Super Mexican. I've sat through some of the worst games possible and I've never left. Well, one time I was arrested, but except for that one time, I pay for my tickets and I stay to watch. Maybe I am spoiled. Maybe I am entitled. Maybe the fact that I live walking distance from the stadium, although Chris found out it's far longer than he thought it was.
To me, it's walking
Maybe
distance.
I am spoiled. And guess what? I apologize for none of that. I just hope that the bipolar manic thoughts I get during Bills games, like Twitter is the only place I can dump them, because if I yell them in the stadium, like somebody announced, they were like, did he get kicked out by the security guard? No, in fact, I said goodbye to him and I said goodbye to Tony and I wished them both a Merry Christmas and then we left. I was like, guys, I got to go. And Tony and both of them were like, yeah, it probably is that time before you say something wild that starts a fight in this section. This is who I am. You know what I mean? It's one of those things, Chris. I never claimed to be a hero. I never claimed to be a saint. I just claimed to be a guy who likes to drink and talk about the Buffalo Bills. So with that, Joe Burrow, 25 of 36, 69.4%, 284 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Josh Allen, 22 for 28, 78% in that snow with no wide receiver help. 251 yards, 3 tutties, no picks. Averaged 8.6 yards per carry on the ground and a touchdown. Bills cornerback Christian Benford, 0 for 3 allowed on 35 coverage snaps. 1 sack, 1 interception, 1 touchdown. Bills tight ends, 137 for 2 touchdowns. Third down conversions. The Bills were 54.5%, which by NFL standards is above average. The Bengals were 83.3% on third down. Wide receiver Jamar Chase, 5 of 8 for 44 yards, no touchdowns. I've got some notable numbers, Chris. Let's see if you can nail them. Number 10. What is the number 10?
The amount of concussions T. Higgins got in the game.
Terrible. It's the number of first downs allowed in coverage by Trey White, Cam Lewis, and Taron Johnson. Number 8. The number 8, Chris. What am I talking about?
Is that how many times we converted third down?
Number of first downs achieved by the Bills tight end group. The number 3.
That's definitely the T. Higgins concussion.
The number of targets for Keon Coleman, which led all Bills wide receivers on the day. And the number 0.
Percentage Bengals to get in the playoffs?
Almost. No, it's the number of seconds I have left for Bobby Babich and Sean McDermott to figure out what the hell they're going to do with this defense in the playoffs. That's it. Let's start right there. The actual reason I decided to bail on the game. Chris, did I or did I not say to you right before we left, I'll watch 1 possession. And if we can't get a stop, I'm leaving.
I furthered along the let's leave now.
Yes, you did.
It would have, in hindsight, it would have been worse if we had stayed till the end of the third quarter to watch James Cook fumble in the end zone. Because I did tell Rico from Buffalo Fanatics, if we stayed until we would have left at Cook's fumble, and that original tweet would have been way worse.
Oh my God, we were in my driveway unpacking the truck when the James Cook fumble happened. And the things I said, like my wife immediately went out to see how far away from the house my children were. It's like my words were so pointed that she had to make sure that they, like, not even that they couldn't hear it, that they were out of the blast radius of everything that was coming out of my mouth. Not even that I'm screaming. I'm not yelling and ranting and raving in the suburbs like a maniac. No. I'm just a man who is saying some wildly insulting things. Chris, I'm a bad person.
You are.
Most people don't get it. I spent the whole tailgate telling her friend Alexis just about mine and Chris's shared history and my things. And she goes, the more I learn about you, the more I'm just seeing red flags. It's like, yep, a lot of red flags. Whole lot. You are correct. You're perceptive, Alexis. When you think about the poor third down rate that our defense had, a lot of it had to do with just the philosophy we applied. Wild amounts of pre-snap cushion that we're giving up. And I don't understand it. The league average this week that any defense gave up to qualifying wide receivers was 6.01 yards. Do you know that this week, all three of the Bengals' most statistically impactful pass catchers, Gesicki, Chase, and Higgins, they averaged 6.1 yards of cushion, and Chase had 6.5. On its face, it's a good idea. You say to yourself, hey, I don't want to crowd them at the line of scrimmage in case they get loose, and now it's just them one-on-one with a safety. And we know that our safeties will lose that matchup every time. So you give them a ton of cushion. But it's the same game plan that we ran back in the playoffs when we lost to them, and they did the same exact thing. Zach Taylor and that offense just attacked all of the cushion the Bills gave them everywhere on the field, and it was catastrophic. I mean, it's wild. And then also imagine being the guy going, hey, you know what my defense doesn't do well? It doesn't tackle well. You know what I should do? I should have all my guys playing with a ton of space in front of them and ask them to come up and make sound tackles. Not a great idea. Trey White, not a good tackler in space, but even when he was in his prime, and you knew that. And yet here we are forcing him to do it against wide receivers who are much bigger, much more physical than him. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. And it fueled a lot of what the Bengals offense was able to accomplish. That 14-play opening drive for the Bengals when they decided to take the ball first. It's almost because they knew what was coming. They knew that Sean McDermott was going to roll out soft coverage and they were going to eat it up. And that's exactly what they did. They just took what we gave them. They averaged 4 yards per play after contact as a football team. That's one of the most disgusting statistics anywhere in the NFL the entire weekend. And the problem is the bigger issue is it came at the hands of our most veteran defensive backs. Trey White, he gave up, like through the air, he was fine in coverage, but man, and just in tackling and cushion and everything else, he gave up a lot of yardage. Cam Lewis and Teron Johnson are playing below replacement level football. And there's no nice way to say that. These are two guys, undersized but scrappy athletes that we as fans love. We love Teron Johnson. The problem is Teron Johnson is old, and he's been banged up a lot over the course of the last 2 seasons. I think it's all just coming to a head right now, and they're a massive problem for the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, Hairston gets beat by Higgins for a touchdown on a jump ball. That's a matchup I'm not expecting Hairston to win. Okay, size mismatch, you got the experience mismatch. You can have some sympathy for a kid like Hairston in that position. He had a quality day otherwise. But then when I turn around, I mean, I look at this, Lewis and Teron, it was wild. The numbers on the day, Trey White targeted 4 times, gave up 3 passes, 35 yards to T. Higgins, no pass breakups. Cam Lewis, 6 targets, 5 catches allowed. 33 yards after the catch and a 37-yarder to Gesicki. Teron Johnson, 5 targets, 4 catches allowed. 44 yards and 3 first down completions. In total, that group, 157 yards, 82% completion percentage against, and 2 touchdowns. The 3 of these old or at least experienced defensive backs, like the reason you have them around, the reason you keep a Cam Lewis is because he knows your system. Oh, hey, he's a guy off the bench who I can call in and I can put him in a starter role. I can give him some significant snaps and he knows the defense. It's going to be fine, right?
Yeah, that's why you keep a guy like Jamarcus Ingram. Jeremy Rogers in the comments. Hairston will grow into an elite player. Seagram's bet. We're going to need context on that, Jeremy.
Well, I'll tell you what. I would bet on Hairston at this point. But looking at what's next to him, it's hard to trust anything else. I mean, look, and the reaction time of Cam Lewis might have been the most damning thing. It's like he's just consistently late to his spot in zone coverage. And that's the problem with zone. You can't be late. You have to be on time. And he just doesn't. It's almost like he doesn't trust what his eyes are showing him. I don't know what the deal is there. I don't know if he needs more. I don't know what there's more of you can give him. He's been in this system. He's had opportunities to make plays. He's just missed them all. And this game was just catastrophic for him. Multiple big receptions on 3rd down where he just couldn't guard the seam. He just got beaten. It just kept happening over and over again. Burrow knew it and was picking on him at one point where he's just like, oh, there's Gesicki on Lewis. Done. I'll throw the ball. I don't even care if it's close. I'm going to huck it up there. Chris, what do we got going on in the comments here?
Trying to get Jeremy Rogers' Seagram's bet nailed down. We need some metrics.
Bernard regulated to carrying Thompson's luggage. That's a good one. We're actually going to talk about that in a second. Teron looks old. This is where I want to end this. His physicality is not where we need it to be when it comes to what this football team should be. On that pass interference, the pass interference, like I know the announcers were talking about it after rewatching the game from, home, rewatching the TV thing. That's why the NFL Pro thing is so helpful. I go back and I rewatch it, and Greg Olsen starts talking about how he hates that defensive PI call where it's an underthrow and the receiver stops his route and the cornerback runs into him and he gets called. Yeah, I'll take a little bit of that. Just leave it here on the table. So what's frustrating to me, though, is that the reason Teron Johnson was in that place to have a PI flag thrown on him is because he was too slow to cover Iosivas to begin with. They're running down the field, and he's gotten beat. He's beat clean like a drum. And they're running down the field, and Joe Burrow is being pursued, and because of the pursuit, he has to underthrow the football. That underthrow, like if that ball was thrown where it should be, that's a clear touchdown. He'd still be going towards the end zone. Teron Johnson doesn't have, like you'd think, a veteran savvy. Hey, I'm going to turn around. Ball in the air. I've been down the field for a hot minute. Should I turn around to see where the ball is? He's so used to dogging it that he's just tunnel vision. I'm chasing this receiver. And oh, by the way, what's happening? And then the receiver crashes into him and now it's a PI. If he turns around, it's a probable interception. Teron Johnson used to make that play. The Teron Johnson who's worth the money we're paying him used to make that play. Now we're here having this conversation. And I think that the Teron Johnson time in Buffalo might be coming to an end. And this season's probably an unceremonious kind of descent into obscurity for that guy. And that sucks because he's a player that obviously I like, we all love. He's put together some really great play for the Bills. Also, Chris, would you be sad if they moved on?
From who?
Teron Johnson.
I mean, if you're going to move on from him, I would assume a draft pick is going to be used to replace him.
You're going to have
come April, May.
Probably going to have to. And then you think about all those coverage problems that I just got done talking about. It was the lack of pressure. The Bills really do have a problem on the D-line. And I promise this is where I'm going to stop being negative. This whole podcast has been about negativity. We're going to get to the positivity. But I want to talk about how the pass rush losing its teeth has really conflated all those other problems. You want to put TJ, like here's a perfect example. You want to put TJ Sanders at defensive end? Not that one. Nope. Nope. Yeah. You want to put TJ Sanders at defensive end? That's fine. If you want to drop him into coverage, that's just stupid. Let's not have that happen, but it did in this game. I got to see it. I got to watch with my own two eyes. Them on the opening drive, TJ Sanders is dropping into coverage. Nobody needs to see that. What is TJ Sanders doing in a spot drop coverage? If you're just looking at analytics, TJ Sanders seems like he's doing well. Chris Trapasso has this tweet about the Bills' second-round rookie in TJ Sanders. He returns from injury in Week 11. Since then, he's played out of position at defensive end. But at defensive end, he's had 5 pressures on 27 pass rushes, 7 tackles, no misses, and 1 batted pass, which on its face seems promising. This is almost what you want. You're like, well, I've got a defensive lineman who he's making strides. Things are happening. Everything's good. But so if this is going so well, why are the Bills so poor in pass rush if we have all these alleged pressures? I don't get it. And then you see this from the Joe Marino. This is probably one of the things that I look at where I go, this is why we're in trouble. They built this thing around old defensive backs, saying, hey, if the Bills' pass rush can just be something this year, it might be great. And it got us through the first 9 weeks of the season. Through weeks 1 through 9, the league ranked, the Bills ranked highly in everything. Sack rate, pressure. Weeks 10 through 13, we've been at the literal bottom of the NFL. And it's stunning. And what I think is worse is that this is shades of the Bills who lost Von Miller at the second half of the season. That's the type of collapse we're talking about here for the Bills pass rush. And it's happening along the same lines. Think about Bosa. He got overworked early in the season when everyone said, hey, we have a plan. When they signed Bosa, they flat out said, we have a plan for Joey Bosa's snaps. And then that all went right out the fucking window with the Michael Hoyt suspension. And then Michael Hoyt comes back and immediately tears his Achilles, and now we're stuck in this world where Bosa has to play 60, 70% of the snaps. And he did the thing that we all thought he would do. He's got a wrist injury. He's got a groin injury. He's got a hamstring injury.
How fitting is it that we last week we have Anthony Prohaskon, who we had in the offseason on, talking about how Joey Bosa's made of glass, and he misses his first game the week we have Prohaska in studio.
It is fun.
I think Anthony had something to do with it.
Then you see this lull from Greg Rousseau, who's playing out of position because of the injury to Joey Bosa's wrist. And I guess I look at this team and I go, okay, so you put this together thinking, hey, everything will be better when we get Hoyt back and when we get Ogunjobi. I don't know. I guess you're nearing the end of the NFL's regular season. You're going to qualify for the playoffs. And yet you have a defense that still has to figure out what the hell it wants to be. That's a problem. That's a problem for you as a coaching staff. So the question is, Chris, last night the Eagles had 7 sacks against the Chargers, and it was still tied the fourth, went to overtime. Imagine knowing that your team got 7 sacks and the other team got 2, and you still had to go to overtime. That would almost sound like your offense sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, I shut the game off after I saw an interception followed by a fumble, followed by another fumble. I was like, I can't do this. Now, Joe Fryer is in the comments. Joe Fryer, we appreciate that bottle of Saratoga rye that Drew has in his hand right there. Brought it to the tailgate.
Is it Josh Bates?
No, Joe Fryer.
Joe Fryer. Joe Fryer and the Saratoga rye. Saratoga in the rye. Made from New York grown grains. 43%. I'm going to get in it.
You know what? I did take a picture of that and I sent it to Ryan Rhodes. I'm like, what do you know about this? Because, we had a bottle, we drank it already, that Rhodes actually distilled. And I was like, what do you know about this? Still waiting for him to get back to me. It's been 3 days.
Well, he doesn't like you. You're unlikable, just like me. We're both unlikable people. What was it? Oh, also, what was the thing Greg Thompson said? Like, guys, for those of you, like, you think about Twitter, like, I'm over here just talking pragmatically now about the defense and what's wrong with it.
Oh, Greg Thompson retweeted Drew's tweet from Sunday that got a lot of love or hate, depending
First
on
of all,
what.
he said, he goes, this is the greatest thing. He goes, this is such a nice present.
Oh, yeah. But somebody was like, yeah, this isn't real. This guy didn't leave at halftime. And it's like
I responded.
It was like fake news. And
I
then,
responded with a GIF of Dwight talking to Oscar about where he slept with that lady in the office, which happened to be on Oscar's desk. He goes, Dwight, you're disgusting. Where? And then Dwight's like, I think you know. He goes, I think you already know. And Greg was thrilled that he got to be part of that exchange.
Greg said that this isn't even the worst thing that you've said this month. So
I've said far worse. It's just that the mafia did get a hold of it. It is nice that we do live in relative social media obscurity. I do like that.
I'm going to be eggs for days. Just got back from Thailand. Got something for you two.
Ooh.
I don't know what that would be.
Oh, see, I'm excited. See, I love that somebody out there still likes me. Not that I was ever worried about it. Guys, it's so funny the way this week has gone. So now here's the thing. The Bills' broken pass rush. This is Rhodes. Hell yeah. Eggs for days.
Yeah, we didn't know. Change your eggs for days? That's stupid. What's wrong with Brian Rhodes?
Ryan Rhodes, he's the best. How do we fix the broken pass rush? I don't know. Less playing time for Ogunjobi. Can we say that we made a $6 million mistake? It's okay. Beans made a bunch of them.
Curtis Samuel.
He's a small 3 tech who's supposed to be penetrating, but he's only got 3 pressures and no sacks since week 8. He's not good enough as a pass rusher, and he's a terrible liability against the run. Get this guy the hell off the football field. Get him out of here. Larry Ogunjobi is part of the problem. He also only exclusively works in the B gap. Maybe give Solomon and Epinesa more of those interior pass rush opportunities. Every time we talk about our team in the offseason, we go, oh, we've got these ends that can reduce down and work inside against guards because they have experience being ends and dealing with tackles. Then do it. Christ, stop talking about it and just do it. Because right now, Larry Ogunjobi is wasting snaps in a Bills uniform. Make him inactive on game day. Him and Keon Coleman can go sit there and have a pina colada, a virgin pina colada in the press box and just watch the game together. You know, I don't care. Just get him off the field.
You know, you dress in place of Ogunjobi? You got it, Landon Jackson.
He'll never play again, at least not this year. Also, get the linebackers involved again back in the A and B gaps. And I guess if I had to say, if you want to fix this, because I don't think you can fix it, then you have an obligation. You got to look at what the offense did this week and what the head coach did this week. And this is where the podcast gets positive. Your head coach has to stay ballsy. Riverboat Ron is what they used to call Ron Rivera, who was Sean McDermott's mentor before he left Carolina and came here to become the Buffalo Bills head coach. Sean McDermott's 3 fourth down, this is from Jeremy Wood at WGR. Sean McDermott's 3 fourth down go calls added a combined 9.2% of win probability to the Buffalo Bills simply because he wasn't willing to tap. That's crazy considering what I know of Sean McDermott. Old Drew would have gotten out Twitter and tweeted out a diatribe about Sean McDermott and how he can kiss my ass. In fact, not even kiss my ass, kiss the fattest part of my ass. This, that, the other thing. He punted. He's a coward. Nope. Sean McDermott with no granny glasses on showed up this weekend and was cutthroat.
Did you see the tweet? I don't know if it was I heard the stat on the radio. I don't know if you caught the stat of the Bills' record with opponents scoring 30-plus points.
No.
3-0. The NFL as a whole is like
God.
the NFL as a whole is like 6-61-1. So Buffalo accounts for half of those wins when the opponent scores 30 points or more.
What I love about this, though, it underscores maybe what the Bills have to be in order to win this year. When the team backs you into a corner, the way the Cincinnati Bengals came out playing full court press from jump. They won the coin toss and said, fuck it, we're going to go put 7 on you guys. And we're going to put the pressure on from Jump Street. And we're confident we have the talent, the tools and the talent to go do that. And they did. And your head coach, your conservative, defensive, I'm going to clap for plays I shouldn't. That guy decided, you know what? Fuck it. I'll meet you at the 50. We're going to go for it on crazy fourth downs. We're going to go for it in all of the places where maybe we shouldn't. And that's going to balance the equation. You want to know why? You have the advantage right now. You have leverage on the scoreboard. You know what you don't have is Josh Allen. And Josh Allen supersedes no matter how much shit I talk about him, no matter how angry I get about the way a day is going. Josh Allen has this thing that he can do where it's a thumb on the scale. Just tips it down. And so and it's almost like Sean McDermott's realizing it this year, where he goes, hey, you want to put points on me? That's fine. I will have my quarterback pile on you. I will have my MVP quarterback who wants to run through you. He wants to, not only does he want to Uncle Rico this ball over your head, but he also wants to just lower his shoulder and run through your defenders' faces. I'm going to let him do it. I'm going to turn him loose. Fuck it. Who cares? Burn all the boats. That's the Sean McDermott we're going to need in order to win a Super Bowl. I can't have any more conservative Sean McDermott. It might have been one of the biggest things out of this game for me was watching Sean McDermott get rid of the specter of the 13 seconds. Oh my God, we have to be conservative and I'm going to clap my way through it. Sean McDermott in this game got cutthroat because there was pressure on him to do so. And he deferred to his quarterback and said, guess what? You guys are out here. You have the numbers. You have this. You know what I have? I have an A10 Warthog. I have an A10 Warthog. His name's Josh Allen. Good luck. And he deferred to that. And it's the reason we were able to stay in this football game. Chris, if we had punted every time we had a fourth down, how do you think this game looks in retrospect?
We would have left at the end of the first quarter.
His thing of, I don't know if a light switch flipped in his head. I hope it's permanent. Because this is the mentality the Buffalo Bills are going to need if they're going to win.
It wasn't a light switch. He took the glasses off.
He could finally see things for the way they are. That he took the glasses off. The way that the Bills orchestrated this offense was devastating. And it gets back to what the Bills should be. Brady had an excellent day as a play caller, although he did have a few gaffes that, because I'm petty, I got to bring it up. He couldn't help himself. He called himself a fucking jet sweep to a tight end. It's a glorified one. Didn't happen. Dawson Knox, behind the line of scrimmage pass that preempted the just fucking absurd touchdown pass that Josh Allen throws to Khalil Shakir. The reason that looked so hard is because that's exactly what it was, a glorified jet sweep. When you think about the play design, this is supposed to be a quick pass to Knox, pulling across the back of the offensive line. But if any defensive player gets anywhere near him, he has no blockers because they ran it the way you would run a lot of short slant routes or short curl routes across the face of the formation, in that both wide receivers, Keon Coleman and Gabe Davis, went downfield to block a cornerback and a safety. No one accounted for linebackers. So if the linebackers weren't fooled by the play action out of shotgun, guess what? Your guy is now behind 3 to 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage, having to get 3 or 4 yards to get a first down. Realistically, Knox had to get 7 yards on that play. He had to get 7 yards on that play to make a first down. That's fucking wild. You don't call that in the red zone. Are you out of your mind? And so then Sean McDermott's like, screw it. 3rd and short. Nah, we go for it. It's just crazy. I need Joe Brady. Chris, I get it. On the same drive, just a few plays earlier, they go in pistol formation. The Bills run a shallow cross to Knox, and he gets the edge of the linebacker, and it's 14 yards, and they move the sticks. So he gets into this concept of, Chris, I'm getting tricky. They'll never see this coming. Stop it. Stop it. Just go with a winning play. It's 3rd and 3. Why don't you just line up over center and run the football? Worst case scenario, do you not think Ray Davis can get 2 yards? Because if he gets 2, Josh will get 1. You move the sticks. Now it's 1st and goal inside of the 4-yard line. I think about football in this way, and I look at Joe Brady and I go, I think you are the classic overthinker. You're doing this and you got to stop. Any self-respective play caller would look back at this and want that play back. Unlike me with that tweet on Sunday. He would look at that and go, man, I wish I could delete that. I hope no one saw that. No, we all saw it. You have to be sharp down here in the red zone. There is no room for flawed ideology like that. With that said, I do owe him flowers because the recipe for Sunday called for a healthy serving of the Bills' secret sauce. And instead of overthinking things in general, Joe Brady ladled our tight ends on top of these guys like your Nana on a plate when you tell her you're only a little bit hungry. He drowned them in the tight end room. And that is the Bills' secret sauce. Guys, they entered. I like that. Ralph Wilson Sr. McDermott finally learned his defense stinks. No, I think what he's doing is he's saying, look, if some coach is going to come into my house and try to press me, I'm going to press back because I think I have superior weapons. And they go, well, we have a T. Higgins. It's that scene from the Avengers, right? It's Loki standing there going, I have an army and I have this and I have that. And it's Tony Stark going, yeah, well, we have a Hulk. we have a Hulk. That's Sean McDermott going, yeah, you have all these nice things. Guess what? I don't have any of that. You know what I do have is a Josh Allen. Go fuck yourself. We can win this football game. You look at this. Our tight end room put together the most complete performance it has since early in the season, back when we were calling them the secret sauce and they were winning us football games. Knox had his best performance since 2022, 93 yards and just 1 incompletion when he was targeted. He was a factor. Knox was a factor for the first time all season. Hawes, game-sealing fourth down touchdown reception in the end zone because Sean McDermott was feeling ballsy. And Kincaid, a touchdown coming out of the half. And then a great scripted drive where there's a catch he has on the sideline for a first down where he has this epic hands catch. Do you know that he might be, Chris, the best receiver on the roster when it comes to just making hands catches?
You're talking about Jackson Hawes?
No, I'm talking about Dalton Kincaid. Dalton Kincaid catches a ball going out of bounds where it's all fingertips. It's all fingertips and grip strength. And he catches it and carries it out of bounds. And that's it. First down. Keep the drive going. It's crazy how that works when you have talent, but also talent that executes. And we talked about the inability of the Cincy linebackers to cover. We savaged those guys. It was crazy. We just beat them to death. It's awesome. Like Jackson Hawes, his 1 target and catch against the linebacker. Knox savaged these guys. The big catch to start the game came because the linebackers all snuck up to the line of scrimmage because they go, oh, this is going to be a James Cook run. First play from scrimmage is play action, and then they turn around, and he hits Knox where the linebacker Barrett Carter abandoned his zone for a 42-yard gain. Do you know Barrett Carter, his statistics, Chris, how badly do you think how badly in coverage do you think specifically the linebackers did for Cincinnati in this game?
It had been terrible.
Barrett Carter, 6 targets, 6 catches, 78 yards, and 3 first downs. How about we go look for Demetrius Knight, the rookie? What do you think?
I don't know. I'm
Did he get any pass breakups?
I'm distracted because Aaron Quinn is fighting with somebody in the media.
Nice. 2 for 2 for 43 yards and 2 first downs and a touchdown. Like, we just beat the hell out of these guys. And it's like, okay, finally. I got done doing keys to victory because I'm like, I don't know what this offensive coordinator knows, what he doesn't know, what he can do, what he can't do, what he's willing to commit to and what he's not. This week, they finally, for once, looked at an opponent and said, here's where you're weak. Fine. We have the talent to just beat you like a drum right here. I want to talk about Ryan Vandermark, but I know we're getting long on time.
Only an hour.
I just want to say, one of the unsung heroes in this game, you'll never hear it brought up in the media. There's no major pundits talking about this.
It's you.
Just me. Ryan Vandermark.
I meant you as the hero.
Oh, God, no.
Because you left.
Yeah, because I left. No, Ryan Vandermark. He had another great week. No Spencer Brown. You know, he's got to go out there. He anchored the line. He was left tackle last week. Imagine this. You played left tackle 1 week. And then the following week they go, hey, guess what? We don't need you at left tackle. We need you to play right tackle. But oh, by the way, they have Joseph Osai and they have a couple decent pass rushers. This isn't a walk in the park. You're going to have to go out there and earn your paycheck. And when you think about what the mechanics of playing offensive line are, you have your post leg and your pivot leg. You kick slide and you turn the corner. And now it's all different. Everything that you just did in the NFL one way is now flipped on its head and you have to go do it another way. There's very few athletes that can do that. Ryan Vandermark, a guy who came into this season at risk of losing his job to Tylen Grable, comes into the year. He finishes with 2 pressures and no sacks, some really great run blocking, regularly getting to the second level, creating creases for the running backs to flow off of. It's fucking wild that we have been able to develop the offensive line depth that we have. I love it. And I don't think enough is being made out of Ryan Vandermark. I wouldn't be shocked, Chris, if he's the next Buffalo Bill to see a moderately priced extension to stick around as the swing tackle.
I'll sign up for that.
Wouldn't you? I mean, everyone loved Tylen Grable, but where is he? Availability is the best ability. Why are you never available? You know who is? Ryan Vandermark. You know what I think is hilarious? His mom retweeted us and followed us on Twitter. I'm going to go ask his mom, what's a thing Ryan Vandermark likes? I'm going to send him a care package.
Definitely not you as a person.
I'm not going to make him hang out with me. I just want to send him something nice and be like, hey, good for you. I'm looking through the comments here. Sometimes I bet Alan feels like that meme picture of Affleck looking exhausted. Yeah, probably. But guess what? This weekend, you know, you'd think that, Oliver, who I love, you're coming all the way from across the Atlantic, watching this podcast at what has to be, 6-hour time difference? What time is it there, Chris? Do the math.
2 a.m.
Josh Allen, you think, and I guess that's where I get upset. I'm like, fucking Josh Allen, he's going to crumble under the pressure. This all sucks. Josh Allen, in his address to the Wyoming, Wyoming University, where he went to college, they retired his jersey. And he kind of did a little speech in the run up to that about what he loves about being a professional athlete. He was like, I love the ability to go out there. I love the fact that every day is a challenge and then I have to fight and win. And the fact that he's like, I still throw up before every game. I still puke before every game because a combination of nerves and just let's get this out of my system now. And he throws up before every game, and then he goes out there and he puts on a show. He's fearless. It's crazy thinking what we have in this unicorn of Josh Allen. No matter how many times I slander him, he's this guy. And so when he looks around this team, Oliver, what he probably just sees is opportunity. He looks around and goes, these are my people. This is my time. These are my players. I'm going to go out here and create magic. And that's why you see him out there headbutting opposing defensive linemen. It's why you see him out there mixing it up with linebackers and talking shit to defensive backs, where he's just, because in his mind, it's me against all of you. I'm not locked in here with you. You're all locked in here with me. I'm Josh Allen, and I can do whatever the hell I want out here on this football field. We are blessed to have that. And yet, it would have, Chris, we'd be within our right to name Josh Allen Hero of the Week. But
Tablets off.
Can you fire it up for me?
I mean, I
because
can. I was gonna equate. You know what watching the Bills is like for me.
So
here.
Kel here. She goes, I'm totally fine if the team just chugs a beer in the tunnel. And Josh looks at him and goes, fuck it, let's go. That's it. That's all I need.
Don't take it personally, all right? Franchise star players are a lot like Highlanders. There can only be one.
I want to give it to Josh Allen, but that's low-hanging fruit because we all know he's legend.
I would have given it to Benford for that one goddamn play.
Hero of the Week is Christian Benford. That actually is my pick. And here's why. Christian Benford is a guy who I never piled on. I never got down on. I never got angry with. Throughout the course of the season, people would show up on social media. They would show up everywhere, and they would bitch and they would complain about Christian Benford. Oh, he's not earning his contract. Oh, another guy who just got paid, and now he's wilting. No, I think a lot more of what Christian Benford was being asked to do. And this is the difference between guys. This is where you need a cover one. This is where you need guys like Anthony Prohaska who can show you the film and go, well, on all these plays where you're bagging on Christian Benford and his poor play, he doesn't have any safety help. Or at least he's being asked to play off zone because they're still not trusting that Cole Bishop knows what he's doing over there on that side of the field. So even though they're playing a too high shell, they don't know that Christian Benford actually has this under control. Or not Christian Benford, Cole Bishop. So Christian Benford was being asked to be less aggressive. In the aftermath of this game, they talked to Jamar Chase in the locker room. And Jamar Chase said, you know, Christian Benford, he's real physical, he's real handsy, but, you know, it is what it is, and they didn't call it. And you didn't hear that earlier this year. You didn't hear that earlier this year when receivers were getting out. They were getting out in space. They were making yards against Christian Benford. Everyone in our fan base was just like I did on Sunday when I turned on Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. They were hyperbolically screaming into the ether about how bad Christian Benford is. One of the things I will say is when you sign cornerbacks, Chris, how many cornerbacks have you ever seen in the NFL who are great? They're borderline elite, and all of a sudden they just stop being good.
We might see that when Sauce Gardner takes the field again.
Okay, injury notwithstanding, the idea being cornerback is one of those positions where if the scheme is like the thing you've been in, it's rare that you're bad. It's also more likely that you're being asked to do something different than what you were doing when you were at your peak. Right now, Christian Benford is being allowed to freelance because they finally trust. Like, this Christian Benford ascension is almost a referendum on the safety room where the coaching staff is finally saying, fuck it, we'll let it ride. We trust these guys. Or at least we trust Cole Bishop. We may not trust Cam Lewis when he's back there. We may need a Darnell Savage to come in at some point once he's up to speed with the defensive playbook and get some snaps. We may need some guys to rotate in, but what I do know is that Cole Bishop is so trusted back there now. He's become such an impact player that we're going to let Christian Benford go do Christian Benford things. And all of a sudden, there it goes. Now, for 2 weeks in a row, he's locked down two of the NFL's biggest names at wide receiver in DK Metcalf and Jamar Chase. His ascension as a playmaker, it's incredible. It's also a referendum on the safety room and the way that thing is sort of starting to gel, which has been an albatross on this team. And if they can just figure that out, holy shit, the things that this defense could do entering the playoffs, we might look like a completely different unit. But the real reason you want to look at Benford as a hero is that pick six. That's a rare play. That's a rare play. Like, I have the quotes here from The Athletic. Joe Buscaglia has an article up there. And in his article, he's talking about that moment. Teron Johnson, I'm on the other side of the field doing whatever my job was. All I hear is the crowd. And then I said, I'm like, what the fuck? He turned around and looked at the scoreboard and was like, wait, what happened? We scored a touchdown? He didn't even know that it was happening. AJ Epinesa, I heard the roar of the crowd. He goes, I think I got to my O-lineman, made my first move, and then I heard the roar. And I was like, what's going on? And then I just see the back of his jersey running the other way. Chris, you think about, like, this morning driving to work, WGR was doing a whole segment on the best defensive touchdowns in Bills history, because that's what you do when you do morning radio, right? You have to come up with topics. Christian Benford has become the most clutch member of the Bills secondary.
What's the correct answer?
I still think it's Sam Adams. That scoop and score against the Patriots.
No. You're wrong. You're fucking. I just tweeted at our friend Pat Moran, who had the correct answer. The correct answer is Carlton Bailey in the AFC Championship game against Denver, 10-7. Denver tries a screen pass. Mike Lodish tips it, which, by the way, Mike Lodish showed up in my elementary school because my brother won a JCPenney Buffalo Bills winter coat giveaway. We were promised, Boston Valley Elementary was promised Andre Reed, and then for whatever reason he backed out, and then we got Mike Lodish, one and the same. Mike Lodish, obviously the Andre Reed of the defense at that time, came and presented my brother with a JCPenney Bills jacket at Boston Valley Elementary. Carlton Bailey, 10-7. That defensive touchdown is the greatest in Bills history. End of story. If you say otherwise, you're wrong.
Joe Fryer in the comments. This is what I was going to talk about. Joe Fryer in the comments says, Drew, you missed that play. The stadium went wild. Do you know that I've missed the two biggest pick sixes in like recent Bills history? Due to the COVID year, we were in my basement.
Yeah, we missed Teron Johnson. We missed Teron
Johnson's pick six.
Now, we could have been in the stadium, but the Buffalo Bills do this. They do this thing where if you transfer your seats, because you've had season tickets for 14 years. They were in our friend Dan's name,
for the first three.
Dan had to back out.
Yep,
because of children. And so we transferred to your name, and so that resets your seniority mark.
So I have a decade of seniority, but
that's why we didn't get tickets for that game.
And it held me out. And when I saw that play, I'm literally playing like I'm in the house playing football with my children. We're in the living room, rolling around, tackling, and fumble. I always call fumblerooski because I just punch the ball out of their hands, and I try to teach them, go for it. It's on the ground. Go for it. It's on there. Get down there, because it's football. Football at its core is if the ball's out, you get on it. If you can do that well, you can play football. At Pee Wee level, at high school level, ball's out, get on it. Protect that football. Me and my children got to watch that happen, and it was incredible. Seeing their faces, because my 5-year-old recognized what was going on. He's like, Daddy, that guy caught the ball from the other quarterback. And that's a bad thing for that quarterback. And he ran it the other way, and we scored a touchdown, and the Bills rule. He goes, and the Bengals are garbage. And I hugged him so tightly. I hugged him so tight. I was like, kid.
I also watched you yell at him while they were playing in the snow for being fans of this team.
I did that. I did say that. I was like, don't you root for this team. This will kill you inside.
The look, like, Tommy, I don't think got it.
No, Tommy doesn't care.
Tommy didn't get it, but Jack I could see Jack.
I'd have a conversation.
I could see Jack processing the information at a 5-year-old level of what you were saying to, like, don't be a fan. You were like, don't be a fan.
Like, quit on this team, boy.
You know what, I saw Jack's face in the backyard as you were saying this to him. And I could see, to me, Jack's face said, it just was on repeat. It was like, I was born into this. I was born into this. I was born into this. I don't compute. Like, I can't pick another team. I was born.
The Bills are the only team in the NFL, Dad. What are you talking about? So Mike Partham in the comments. I actually tagged Mike in a thing earlier today. I was like, guys, you have no idea. I've said a lot worse things than what I said on Twitter this Sunday. Mike Partham's been there for a bunch of them. He's been there for a bunch of them.
Mike Partham would say this is like not even in the top 50 worst things I've ever heard you say.
Sometimes you have to take these socially acceptable, intrusive thoughts, just throw them on social media and be done with it. So with that said, Christian Benford flipped this game on its head with the most explosive play we've had since that pick 6 that Teron Johnson had in the divisional round playoff. And it's fascinating to me that he's ascending at the right time. They trust him. The scheme is coming together. The safety play around him is coming together. And it's allowing him to start playing like the shutdown cornerback we paid. That's a huge problem for every other team we're going to face from here on out. If they can continue doing this, it's going to pay dividends for the defense, but it's also going to be an albatross for any team who goes up against the Buffalo Bills, because they're used to watching our sieve of a defense going, well, we can just, they're going to give up a ton of cushion and they're going to do this. And then now, guess what? When Benford decides he's going to press you, now you have problems. And then guess what? If we can rein in the other thing, if Darnell Savage gets up to speed and we get him starting snaps, he played 8 games this year. If we can get him on the field for the Buffalo Bills, it's a dice roll as to what this defensive back core might look like. I hit a whole diatribe about Keon Coleman, teed up for this, but I also feel like that's just...
You want to keep it positive.
I want to keep it positive. Guys, this season on paper was supposed to be one of the most entertaining seasons of ours in recent NFL history. Because of all the elite quarterback talent the Bills would face, all the preseason darlings on our schedule, like this was going to be epic. It was going to be a lot of fun. I don't know that I've had a lot of fun. I wouldn't say that I've had fun to this point in this season. I'm looking through the comments here. To be in that stadium to hear that play would have been nuts. To be in the stadium for the comeback for the Baltimore game, you're right. It probably would have been great. Maybe I need to just stop being so down on this team and so ready to get home. And I think that's my problem. I'm always ready to get home because I go, well, this is a game that I think that you with Josh Allen and this team with all the money you spend and the things you throw around, you should be able to win this game. And yet you can't. And so now you're obligating me to stay to the final gun. That's a thing. I don't know. I guess I thought it would be easier. But maybe that's me just being the entitled brat that everybody tried to paint me out as when they were deriding me on Sunday. Maybe I do feel, Chris, a certain level of entitlement that's wrong. to having easy wins, or at least competent performance, where I go, hey, we should have a defense that doesn't allow another team to complete all of their third downs for an entire fucking game. It's crazy to think, though, that Josh Allen has been the thing, not just a massive role, the role in beating all three of the who's who in Burrow, Lamar, Mahomes. And now the Bills have vaulted themselves into being virtual locks to make the NFL playoffs. He might also end up being the only real blue chip quarterback in the AFC playoff field after all the dust settles. Think about it. Drake May, talented, but unproven. Sunday against Buffalo is going to be his first real test in a playoff type atmosphere. CJ Stroud clearly doesn't have chemistry with his wide receivers because this is too late in the season for them to have these passing numbers. They don't generate explosive plays. As a guy who took Nico Collins in every fantasy format, I got absolutely fucked. Aaron Rodgers, that guy, this is elder abuse at a certain point. Trevor Lawrence, he's just as likely to throw a touchdown pass as he is to get caught picking his boogers on live TV and then tripping and falling over his own feet on the ground. Bo Nix is exceeding at improvisational football, but he's lucky he's got Sean Payton and that he's got that defense. They're getting by the way the Saints used to, with killer run game, a lot of just standout defense, and then he makes some explosive off-script plays as a quarterback. Chris, I would argue that this Broncos team that's going to probably win the 1 seed in the East, they're not as explosive on offense as the team we played and beat last year. I don't think that's is that an overreaction?
No.
And then Justin Herbert. He's just frat boy Trevor Lawrence. He's just, oh, I got with Megan Beers, so I'm cool. But also I do the same bullshit things Trevor Lawrence does. I just don't take the heat for it because my coach runs the ball all the time. Every blue chip quarterback besides Josh Allen just took a major step back from making the NFL playoffs this past weekend. Burrow, Mahomes, Lamar. It could be that we make the NFL playoffs and it's just Josh Allen's show. I sit here joking about how I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me. Imagine being the team that has to go up against the Bills as a wild card at home. You think that's an easy out?
Possibly.
Especially if you're Jacksonville. Imagine the draw is Jacksonville versus the Buffalo Bills. I think you'd be terrified if you're their first time head coach in his first playoff game with a quarterback who's 1-1 in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it in the preview episode that comes out on Thursday, but I'm cool with how the playoffs are set up as long as Houston stays in the last spot. Because you're going to, as of right now, you get Pittsburgh. I'll take a win there. And then I'm going to tell you that Houston's going to beat New England if they're the 7th seed. And then you get Jacksonville Chargers, which I would take the Bills in that one. And I would also take Houston to beat Denver.
I love spinning the comments. You know what? It's our fault Drew left early. We didn't guilt him enough after he left the Baltimore game. You are right about that. You guys did not give me enough shit for that, so it's empowered me to believe that through the power of hate and alcohol, all things are possible. Through the power of hate, Lenny Klotch, and alcohol, all things are possible. It is your fault. What is this, little boy? You guys should start a Sabres podcast. I finally might not cry thinking about them.
I would never do a Sabres podcast with you. You are illiterate when it comes to hockey. Just straight up illiterate. literally put my hands on you if we did a Sabres podcast.
It's a hell of a thing that you guys stick with us through thick and thin, all the nonsense, all the bullshit. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we do have to wrap it up because Drew and I have split duty here. We have 269 comments to go through. So anyone that called us a loser from Sunday, we're going to respond to those tweets right now with a link to tonight's show because we're petty. Oh, you think we're a loser? You think our podcast is dog shit? Oh, which, by the way, professional podcast, that's a me thing because it means it's professionally produced.
No.
What's happening on the show, whatever content you want to discuss, that's questionable, but it's professionally produced. We're going to go through all the comments, and we're going to send him a link to tonight's show. That's the goal.
We are the hardest drinking, pettiest Bills podcast, and there isn't a damn thing anyone can do about that. Dad, I love you. Guys, this has been a lot of fun, but for tonight, we got to get the hell out of here. Thank you for everybody who showed up in solidarity with us just to talk shit, get in the comments. It's been fun. I love this. I know I didn't go to the comments as much as I usually do, but I just felt like I needed to talk through this. This may increase your viewership. I promise it won't. In fact, I'm shocked. Chris, you know what you got to do? We have to tweet it reply to everything with a thing of subscribe or you're soft. Challenge their manhood when you do it, because that's how the internet works these days. It's hilarious. Guys, I love all of you. I love all of you who show up every single week to talk through the comments, interact with us. You're the reason we do this. The people on social media who are mad at me, they can be mad. Chris, we got to go. They can be mad. Stay mad. I don't care. I'll still be here. I'm Drew Gear. That's Chris Kruger. And this has been your Rockpile Report.